Carrion, it caught my eye the first time I saw it and I knew I would have a good time. It's old school pixel art design, it's a Metroidvania, these things are just my bread and butter. It's not all plain sailing from this game though, where you tear through the lab as a pulsating monster, hell-bent on finding an escape. So Carrion is a game about a monster trying to escape a research lab. There's plenty of security and scientists here trying to stop you, and there's certainly an amount of joy in taking revenge by disposing of them one by one. And when I say monster, I don't mean something like Bigfoot, I mean a vast blob creature with tentacles and teeth. It's terrifying and yet satisfying at the same time. Movement and feels are some of the great selling points of Carrion. It feels good to move around the screen, throwing out a tentacle here and there to nab an enemy or climb around the environment. The more you consume as the monster, the more you're able to grow and you're able to navigate the environment around you. There's a similar feeling to one of 2019's best games, Ape Out, where you take on the role of a caged beast trying to escape and disposing of everyone who tries to stop you. So this is a Metroidvania at heart. There's new areas to find and you need to power up before you can get to them. The key to getting access to the new areas are the switches, and some are nearby within reach and others aren't, and it's your job to get more powerful to activate all the switches so you can make your way to safety. As with other Metroidvanias, the key to progression is the power-ups. Now they're all pretty cool and they change up the gameplay in a new and interesting way, including invisibility, webbing and the ability to grow spikes. As well as the power-ups, there's some puzzles too in Carrion, although they're really not going to provide major barriers to you. At any one time you have access to 3 of these powers that you've unlocked, and it's in the combination of these powers to solve puzzles, so you can mix and match and have a play around and see what works for you in different situations. So movement is certainly fun in Carrion, but so is the combat. The powers that you've used previously to flip switches will definitely come in handy in combat, allowing you to take out enemies in more interesting ways as you progress through the game. Scientists and security guards will do their very best to hold you off with guns and other weapons, but they're not really a match for you. This is one of the drawbacks with Carrion. It's fairly straightforward to get through the game. There were only a few occasions that really caused me any trouble on my playthrough. One of the unique elements of Carrion is that there's no map. This is usually a staple in Metroidvania games, knowing where you are and where you have to go and explore. Although here though, we don't have any of that, and that can lead to a little bit of frustration. Some players out there may be cheering it that the game doesn't really give you any clear direction, so you can go off on your own path and try and escape any way you can. To others though, myself included, I missed a map and a sense of direction in the game. There's plenty to enjoy in Carrion for sure. It's a monster movie lover's dream being able to roleplay as a monster. The combat and puzzles are fun, but there's a few elements missing here that are really holding it back. Now it's a good game, but it's not great, which is a shame because it really caught my attention on the initial trailer. The good news is though, it's available on Xbox Game Pass from day one, and that's where I played it. So if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, then I'd recommend picking it up and giving it a go. If you've got Xbox Game Pass, then it's a must try. However, I'm unsure as to whether I'd buy it as a standalone game on another platform, and I don't really know what that says about services like Xbox Game Pass, Netflix and Spotify and what they're doing to my brain and my purchasing habits. They certainly do make me weigh up my purchases a lot more these days on other platforms. So the game comes from Phobia Game Studios and it was published by Devolver Digital. It's available for Nintendo Switch, PC, Xbox, Mac and Linux, and originally came out on the 23rd of July 2020.